guys, Riley here from High-Strung Lights. This is my first video ever, and I was doing something a little unique, so I figured it was worth sharing. We got a commercial building here where some magnet sockets came off of the gable end. When a few came down, the whole strand fell down. I started doing safety anchors for commercial buildings, and I haven't seen those mentioned much in the forums or online, so I figured I'd show you what I do for a safety anchor. But basically what you want to do is you want to tether these lights up at various points, maybe 10 or 15 feet apart, and anchor them up there so that if a strand does come off, that the whole thing doesn't come crashing down. It makes takedown more difficult because you have to get back up on the roof and separate those anchors, but I think that's worth it for big spanses or places where you don't want to have to go back and do a service call, or if there's commercial location where people are coming in and out of the building, you don't want that stuff to come crashing down. So safety anchors and safety straps and stuff like that to hold your strands up is important. Anyways, I'll show you how I do that. Okay, first things first, I don't have a boom lift to go up there today, so we're going to use a rope and harness. There are no safety anchors at the top at the saddle of the roof, so we're gonna have to set a temporary anchor under the soffit. In Washington State and a few states out west, you'll see lots of exposed soffits, which it's less common down in Utah. I'm not sure what it's like in the South, but we don't cover up our soffits a whole lot. Anyways, you can anchor into the rafter. You gotta use a stainless steel concrete bolt or something that's graded for high load. So I get mine from safetyanchor.com. So we're going to set the anchor and then launch the rope over the roof and then access the saddle from the opposite side of the roof. Here's the gear we're going to use for our rope setup. I have a 100-foot line here, and then we have a 100-foot paracord for launching over the roof and then towing the heavier rope up and over. And at the end of the paracord, I just have this this ball wrapped up inside of a net. And it's soft, but it's stiff. I think it's a lacrosse ball. And then here's the anchor. It's a D-ring, and all it takes is these two screws here. They're loaded for high weight. I think it's 2,000 or 5,000 pounds or something like that. And anyways, that's all you need to hold you in. Cool, so the ball just made it 3 or 4 feet short of the gutter there. I'll be able to climb up and grab that and pull it over. So a couple things that you'll want for metal roofs is a good roof walking shoe. These Cougar paws have a soft pad on the bottom, pretty common with pro Christmas lighters. The bottom just comes off and is replaceable once it gets worn down, and you'll be like a billy goat with this stuff. It's super tacky and soft. The other product is a magnet sole. So this, we'll see how it does. Well, you can see there's some metal on there. We'll see how this does on the metal roof, and if it keeps me from sliding too. I was kind of excited to try this one out, but for the most part, these ones are awesome, and they're killer on composite roofs, but it eats them up. I go through a couple of pads every 2 weeks or so on these. I'm also a big fan of the rope prusik being used as a rope grab. It's soft, it slides around easily on the rope, but grabs perfect. And not having a metal component on here is easier on the roofs too. So you can get these just by themselves and what's this one called? It's just called a non-mechanical rope grab. So I also got that from safetyanchor.com. Super Anchor Safety, that's what it's called. And they can refer you to a dealer in your area to order it from. Okay, that side's pulled nice and tight. One thing that I didn't mention is you want to put a block or like a 2x4 or something inside of the gutter so it doesn't pull on the gutter too much when you're pulling on the rope, because you know you can cause a dent in the gutter, so you want to have that reinforced. Okay, so since I have a rope on one side of the roof that will keep me from falling, I'm going to set the rope up on the opposite side as well so it can do the same. Basically my 100-foot rope, maybe it's 150, I'm not sure, it reaches over the whole roof. So I'm just going to create an anchor on both sides and then use that same rope with the prusik in the middle. So now I'm anchored on both sides. I pulled a little bit of slack out so I can move around on the rope. You can see I just put another anchor in, carabiner, and now that single rope is attached on both sides of the roof. This is the deluxe size medium. It's the deluxe harness from Super Anchor Safety, and I like using this one specifically because it has the front loops in the front for anchoring, so that I can walk up the roof and not have it just pull me from the back. So that's also available at superanchorsafety.com. Okay, so putting the prusik on, this is all it is. You're gonna wrap around it and pull through. Okay, wrap around it again, and maybe a third one for good measure. And that is enough. You can go tighter if you put another wrap on it. Now pull it tight. That wrap is good enough to slide it as you need to, but when it gets that force from pulling on this rope, it grabs really tight. So yeah, you can, if you were to go even tighter still, it would look like this, pushing that last one through. Then you have a really tight grab on there, and it's a little bit stiffer to slide along, but might make you feel better. So that's what 4 loops looks like. That's a little bit much. It's still, yeah, it's stiff, but it slides along. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with it, use it like this. Trying out these magnet shoes. They're definitely sticking, but they're not that sticky. I don't think that the grab from the magnet is going to be as efficient as just using this pad on here, because this is, well, see, now that's kind of sticky too, or it kind of slides along too, because the roof is dry. A little bit of moisture actually makes it stick even better. So let's try one of each. I'll try one of each boot and let you know what I think. Okay, that was a little bit of a bitch. Trying to grab the wire that was hanging off the side, walk it all the way to the top, and snag it back over the top here, whilst pulling the prusik up at the same time. I didn't knock too many of my ridge clips, but I did. So anyways, we're gonna anchor this top one up first. All right, there it is. This is my peak safety anchor, I call it, or safety strap. I've got one on this side to keep it from pulling that way, and one on this side to keep it pulling from that way. And it's going through through the wire. Now I could essentially let this hang. There we go. Now with it hanging, I can get pieces up in place, and I could do this in a couple spots, 2 or 3 or 4 down the side, and the whole system has a better chance of staying in place, or at least keep from crashing down. I can snip the little edges off there, or the excess wire, or pull it tighter if I need to. So here I just placed another safety strap. It's just anchored in the back side of that flashing, and comes right around the front onto the bulbs. So now that I've got my sides in place, I can snip off the excess wire. I pulled it tight. So a couple things I didn't talk about was when I set this first one, and then I set my magnets along the side, I had one extra down at the bottom. All putting these on the side did for me was get them in place. I had to start from the bottom and pull it tight and work my way back up to the top. Alternatively, you could modify it once you have it in place and just fix it down at the corner. But anyway, so I put it in place and then slid them all back up a single foot to work my way to the top. Then I went and did the same thing down there, stuck them against the edge. I didn't get them perfectly in place, but then I started to pull them tight and right, all up into place, all the way till I got to the top, had some excess in there. I put my final lights in place, and then I pulled my zips snug. Now, the one thing also about the wire versus the zips is the wire is stronger. So using X wire or 22 gauge wire, it cuts easy and it's stronger than the zip ties would be my main reason for wanting to use that. These are UV protected, and we're gonna say good enough on that. Anyways, final thoughts is I don't enjoy this task. This took me approximately 2 hours from setup to snapping these all in place. You know, you can save some costs on not getting a boom lift and charge it to the customer. I still think it's worthwhile doing it without a boom lift if you have this setup. Definitely it makes it accessible and achievable, and you can keep within their budget and maybe make some more money yourself if you're willing to do the climb. The boots, the magnet paws, I think that the magnet paws have a slight advantage to the padded Cougar paws. Cougar paws hold great and they're fine, but there's a little bit of slippage on this dry roof. You know, there's some pollen on the roof, and so it can make it just, there's a small film, it's dusty, and that makes the pad slide a little bit more, and the magnet stuck a little bit better, but I was definitely not locking in to the roof with the magnets. And I know these roofs will have variable amounts of actual metal in them versus aluminum, so it's kind of contingent on the roof material. Anyways, that's enough out of me. Again, I'm High-Strung Lights. My name's Riley, and this is my first video. Thanks for watching.